Hello, hello, and welcome to the Newcastle Chronicle Facebook page. Newcastle through to the fourth round of the EFL Cup after a 7-0 win over Morecambe, a really resounding win down at the Globe Arena. Two goals for Joe Linton. The other goals came from Miguel Almiron, Jacob Murphy, Isaac Hayden, Jamal Lascelles, and Matt Ritchie right at the end. Just a really good performance. Newcastle really needed, I think, to appease the fans after the Brighton defeat. And then, of course, last week's win over Blackburn wasn't very good. I'm sure many of you watched that game or followed it live on Chronicle Live, and we're not impressed with where Newcastle beat Blackburn. So I felt tonight that they needed not only to win but to dominate, and dominate they did. I mean, there were 5 goals up, for half time, and it could have been a lot more. The League Two side Morecambe, who had been beaten by Cambridge on the weekend, came into this and were blown away instantly. I think there was 9 changes made tonight by Newcastle, and Steve Bruce had said to the players, he mentioned to the reporters yesterday that these players who are starting tonight have a chance to start against Spurs on Sunday. If they can go out there and impress, they can potentially win a place in the starting 11 against Tottenham down in the capital. And the likes of Sean Longstaff played really well, but the standout one for me was Jacob Murphy on the wing. He was running everything. He hit the post with a cross. He ended up scoring. He set Almiron through. He played really well. And there's a lot of debate over Jacob Murphy. Obviously, you have the likes of Alan St. Maximin. You've seen Ryan Fraser come in. So what does the future hold for Jacob Murphy? Remember, he was a really big money signing. We've got David Marchbank saying in the comments saying Murphy was brilliant. Totally agree, David. What does the future hold? He needs first team football, doesn't he? Of course, he did really well tonight, but it's only Morecambe. But will he get the chance against Spurs on Sunday? I'd like to see. I think he's still got time to make it at Newcastle. Remember, he was 13, 14 million. He impressed last season at Sheffield Wednesday. Gary Monk would love to take him back, and there's a few other teams in and around, reportedly from Rangers, reportedly one. But Steve Bruce seems keen to see if he can force his way in. And after the performance tonight, he just ran the show. I mean, Morecambe could not handle him, and I know that there's a big difference in League Two to the Premier League, and even if you say Jacob Murphy's a Championship player, there's a big difference, isn't there, between League Two and the Championship? But Jacob Murphy really well tonight, always up for running, some really good crosses. I mean, Andy Carroll should have scored later on in there. It was a great cross from Jacob Murphy, and he was just constantly pumping the balls into the box, and he was just looking to create. He was looking to run. He was taking on defenders, and he obviously maybe been told by Steve Bruce, read the quotes perhaps from the manager to say, take your chance, prove to me that you can be in this starting 11 for the Premier League or in the Premier League squad. And he did really well. Lascelles was in defence, and what I liked about Lascelles, he didn't have too much to do, but when the ball did come up in the box and he cleared it, he just did the good old-fashioned defensive job. Just get it out, head it out if need be. None of the fancy stuff which sometimes you can potentially get caught up on. He just got rid of it. Good performance there. Mark Gillespie in goal. Didn't have much to do, but he did have one decent save from Dargoa, who then was sent off moments later for a tackle on Sean Longstaff. But it was a really good save from Mark Gillespie. He had to get a strong hand to it, otherwise it would have been a goal. It was a really solid save. And it was good to see that, although he didn't have much to do, he's always alert. Sign of a good goalkeeper there. Almiron was on good form as well. Again, very creative. Really looking to just get forward and show the difference in class. And you had the likes of Isaac Hayden getting in on a goal, and again he looked quite impressive. Matt Ritchie just being Matt Ritchie. The level of performance always quite high with Matt Ritchie, and he got a cheeky little goal at the end with a nice little back heel. But I mean, the dominance, 30 shots from Newcastle, 10 on goal. That says it all. And I mean, I know they only scored 7, but it could have been a lot more. I mean, them 10 on goal obviously doesn't count Ryan Fraser hitting the bar, Jacob Murphy hitting the post, and there was a couple of close ones. Longstaff went close a couple of times. Murphy went close a couple of times. So it could have been a lot more. Joe Linton getting 2. Just not too happy about it in the celebrations. I'm sure a picture, though. It doesn't tell the full story. But he gets to the first one was a tap in, but he had to be. We talk about him not maybe having this striker's instinct, but he had to be ready and reacting to it because it was a cross ball. I think it was Kraft who put the ball across. Miguel took a little swipe at it and it fell into the path of Joe Linton, who just had to be ready and reacting and put it in the back of the net. It was close range, but a really good finish. And then the second one was something brilliant. Played down the left, cuts inside, and hits one over the keeper from distance. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure it's somewhere bouncing around on Twitter, on the highlights later, or I think it'll be Quest. You have to look out this goal. It was a really good goal. And it shows that kind of something that he has got. He has got something. However, Jacob Murphy put a ball across. It hit the post, and all it needed was a touch from Joe Linton to be put in the back of the net. And Joe Linton kind of stepped back and watched it hit the post, and it was cleared. For me, that you've got questions there because you ask Shearer, you ask Les Ferdinand, what would you have done in that situation? They would say, I'd get that in the back of the net. I'd put that in. You argue after about whose goal it is. You make sure that that's in the back of the net. And yeah, it was an interesting one. If you see, you'll see it on the highlights. I'm not quite sure why I didn't get a touch on it. He looked onside to me, and there's a few people saying, "Oh, maybe he thought it was Murphy's." It's not good enough. If you're a striker, you get your head on that. But anyway, he gets 2 goals. Newcastle are through 7-0. Could have been a lot more. They set up a game now against Newport County. The League Two side. They prepare to Watford yesterday 3-1, and if they beat Newport, they're into the quarterfinals of the League Cup. That is brilliant, And we fear tonight that they might mess it up. It's always something, isn't it? When it's easy, you do have that fear. They didn't. 7-0, dominant display, which I felt they really needed because of what's gone on the last week. Brilliant, and just really happy. Really good display. Dan Boleza come off the bench a few, I think about 10-15 minutes. Some good passes. So is he going to do enough? I don't know. But he didn't do his chances any harm now. Some decent passes. Got the assist for Matt Ritchie's goal. So, again, if he's not instantly boosted his plans, we know Rotherham were keen to take him back. So he didn't do his chances any harm anyway, I don't think, tonight. But generally, everyone that was involved tonight really well. Kraft, Yedlin as well. Lots of talk about Yedlin's future, but put in a decent shift tonight. Andy Cowell off the bench should have scored. Missed a header from maybe 2-3 yards. I'm not really sure what the crack was there, but he put it wide from a Jacob Murphy cross, as I mentioned. Ryan Fraser came off the bench as well and did well. Just Newcastle asserted their dominance is what they needed to do against the League Two Morecambe. Morecambe, still managed 4 shots, only 1 on target. And you can see the dominant actually on the stats. Newcastle 15 shots outside the box, 15 shots inside the box. Only shooting accuracy of 33%, mind you, but hey, 7 goals. You can't complain at that. And like you say, just really good to see, the red card. Was it a red card? I'd like to see another look at it, but it was a dangerous lunge, needless really, and the referee's hand straight in their pocket for the red card. So did that help Newcastle? Yeah, of course it probably did, but Newcastle were already well on top by then, and it just made that little bit easier for Newcastle to get through to the next round. But are you guys happy? Let us know in the comments. We'll put the match report up in a moment. There'll be a podcast later on, and the reaction will be over on Chronicle Live. In the meantime, stay safe. Head over to the live blog. Head over to the website. And please remember to like and subscribe to the podcast if you listen to it. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your night.